Welcome to another podcast by Denise, your host of Denise's Dialogue. Any questions or comments about today's podcast, please email her at denisesdialogue@gmail.com. We're ready. We're recording. We're recording right now.
Hello.
Hello, world.
This is Denise from Denise's Dialogue. I am here with Morpheus Black, as usual.
Black.
He likes echoes.
I don't like echoes.
Well, today we are talking about police shootings in New Jersey.
Well, you know what? Not even
Specifically in
Trenton, New Jersey. It's not even New Jersey. It has to do with compliance.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Well, compliance is this. I'm a cop. You're not, right? Mm-hmm. So now the way it used to be back in the day when I was growing up was for you to be a cop in a city, you had to you had to live in that city. I'll say it again.
You couldn't live like in the next town over. You had to come from that particular
you
city.
had to be in that city. You had to be from that city. Your residence had to be in that city. Now, the reason I say that was a good thing because when I was younger, we didn't do shit. We just hung out on the corner at night, and we wasn't into drugs. We wasn't into drinking, but we just watched cars go by, talking, having fun with each other, talking to each other. We might be sitting on our bikes. We was always at the end of our street.
Yeah.
And we didn't do nothing. Now, Trenton had I think it was called a proactive force, or I forget what name it was. But one of the police directors they got rid of that force. But we just hung out. We wasn't committing no crimes.
Just hanging out, talking.
And we all lived on that street. So we was at the end of our block. People wasn't getting shot every 10 minutes when I was growing up. It was just something we did. Now, if you didn't grow up in that city, you wouldn't have known that's what the kids did.
Yeah.
At all.
Because even every time you hear something on the news or something, it always makes it sound worse than it actually is. Or if the weird thing is, if there's something that goes on in, say, Philly or New York, they always had a map
of Trenton, how close it was to Trenton.
Of Trenton, like Trenton got nothing to do with that.
Yeah. Now before we go any further, I'm drinking a cocktail shot. I have a beer and I have some shit mixed up in a cup. I don't know what it is. It was something, but I forget.
Whatever it is, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
But this other thing, what you said, was a kamikaze or something?
It's kamikaze.
Some kind of
kamikaze vodka. Don't get it twisted.
Cocktail shot.
When we say we're drinking, it's not soda. We're not being sponsored by nobody. We're not here to raise your kids. So if I got to tell you your kids shouldn't listen to this, you're fucking retarded.
Yeah, the cursing alone should tell you not to let your children listen to this. But then again, children these days do what they want to do.
Now, I don't normally curse.
Lies.
I'm normally a calm person.
Lies.
And I'm collective.
Lies.
And I don't get excited quickly.
Lies.
It's
everything he just said, he's the opposite.
I'm normally PG.
Everything he just said.
But anyway,
it's the opposite.
Back to the story. So basically, if you wasn't from the area, you didn't know the kids did that in the area, right?
Yeah.
So as time progressed, now the cops are being hired, but they don't live in the area. Now, the problem with that is the city is full of brown people, brown Americans. Now, if you are a white or Caucasian American, sometimes that is your first interaction you have with brown Americans when you come to that city. So therefore, you heard stories. They're this, they're that, So when you're starting out working, you're a little afraid of those people.
Yeah, they don't know what to expect.
You don't know what to expect, but you hear the worst. So
Oh Oh, Lord. I'm sorry. My dog is over here fighting a sock. He's going in.
So
God.
you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
So what happened was that is you get out there now. You're paid to serve and protect these people that you don't know.
Well, see, the problem is you can't protect and serve some of the people. You got to protect all of the people, not just the ones that you pick and choose.
All of the people. Now, the problem is twofold. I'm going to tell you why. When you're going through this training, the only reason I could say going through this training because I went through Middlesex County basic auxiliary police training.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I did when I decided to say, hey, I want to get into law enforcement. But on test day, it was too many motherfuckers standing there, so I walked away. Okay.
He don't like standing in line.
Not at all. And James Tron G, I call him, and Craig Cooley can tell you that I will leave a cart full of shit and walk away. I ain't got time to be standing in lines. And that's another whole story. But you want to hear that story? Should we continue?
Continue,
okay.
Please.
So we're going to continue. So we are taught to tell people, stop, freeze, and ID yourself. The police. Hey, I'm the police. Stop, freeze. Right. So in the bulk of the time, well, 100% of the time, you're coming up in a car. It's usually black and white or black or whatever, or they call it ghost cars. It might be all black with a gray letter saying police on it. But you always have the red and lights at the top, unless you're one of the, they call them the jump out boys, right? So now you saying stop, freeze, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you get out of your car. Your intent is to, this person has an invalid registration, bad registration, no tags, could come back as wanted. But we're going to take the lighter one. You got bad tags.
Yeah.
So you get out of your car.
Something they could see because they're somewhere running your tags.
Now, you walk up now. I'm the officer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm a little afraid of you.
Yeah, because of experience and stuff that you see that goes on TV.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is the thing. I'm a little afraid of you because I don't know. And let me tell you why I say I don't know. With the job I do, anytime I walk into a house, I case that house. Not case as a thief would case a house. I case the house as, I don't know your mental state. So I look around. Is there any weapons around? Stabbing objects around? So that's what I mean when I say case. I'll make sure there's nothing that's going to put my life in danger in your house. Even though you called my company, I have a ticket to be at your house. You let me in your house because you want me to fix a problem. I still got to look around to see if there's anything stabby or shooty or.
You never know what somebody's going to do. So you got to be
you never
on
know
alert.
What. Because somebody's, how they feel about you can flip on a dime. One minute they fine, laugh. Next minute they think you do the worst thing ever. But I always case the house. So I feel how these officers feel. They get there. So now they get there and they say, sir. A lot of them don't say sir. A lot of them are cocky.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you that.
They just come in too aggressive.
And I'm going to tell you a story I had recently with an officer who was kind of cocky. And then and me being, I'm older than what I used to be. And I got to the point now, so a lot of times, like, I don't give a fuck. You're going to hear what I got to say. Because normally, if I'm talking to you about something, I'm normally not wrong. If I'm telling you about something, I did my research, and you're going to hear what I got to say. Because I'm going to hear your bullshit, so you can hear what I got to say. That's another story we're going to talk about. So anyway, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Now, a decent cop going to say, sir, I need to see your license and registration. Right?
Yeah.
Or they might say, keep your hands on the steering. Or let's say, you're a felon. They know you're a felon. They know you, let's say, don't know what it is.
How would they know you're a felon?
Because they run the tags. They don't know you're a felon, but they know the person who owns the car is a felon, so they don't know who owns the car.
Yeah.
So they might get up there and say, turn the car off, right? You turn the car off. Please keep your hands on the steering wheel. That's called, they ask you to do something so they can feel safe by you doing that.
Yeah.
But what do these people do? Put your hands on the steering wheel. Nah, why you pull me over? Why?
Yeah, they start getting combative right away.
They start getting combative. So now you got this person who's already scared of you. He don't know what's going to happen now. So the first thing he start doing is that left hand or that right hand starts moving for that gun.
Yeah.
They get combative. And then as soon as something happened, the person who's combative now jumps out the car, or he gets out the car, or he fights. And let's be honest. Let's talk about George Floyd. George Floyd was what they say, he tried to pass a bad $20 bill, something like that, right? Mm-hmm. The store called, I'm assuming, right? And the cops showed up. George Floyd, he wasn't listening to what he was told. He got combative. Now, this is where there's a screw up on both sides, a fuck up on both sides, as you say. The cop held him down. And that cop was scared of George Floyd. Because number one, you already got this dude by sometimes 15, 20, 50 pounds.
But the thing is, he didn't look like he was scared. He was.
No, let me finish. He was scared.
I think he was just cocky.
He was scared, right? And he was cocky. So he was scared. So when his other buddies got there, they handcuffed this dude. Now you got him on the ground. I'm going to put my foot on his neck. That's where the fault of both parties happened. George Floyd wasn't compliant, and the cop, I'm going to put my leg on his neck. Now, I'm going to go on record. Am I going on record?
Mm-hmm.
Who gives a fuck? Anyway, now, let me tell you something right now. I am a law-abiding citizen. Would you agree?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Now, my brother, if I'm happen to be driving somewhere and I see my brother's on the ground, the cop got his knee on his neck, guess what? We got a fucking problem. When I say we got a problem, I got a problem, the officer got a problem, guess what? You trying to kill my brother. I don't know what he did. He could have shot a cop. But I know my brother ain't gonna shoot no cop. But if I get somewhere and you got your foot on my brother's neck, guess what? He going back home to whoever he's living with or his girlfriend that night, and you might not. I might catch a charge for that.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't going down like that. And always look at that is, even though the person's not being compliant, what happens when there's somebody there? Let's say me or you were in a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cops pull you out. They're getting crazy with you. If I'm carrying a gun, how long do you think it's going to happen before I pull that gun out and we get buck wild? And my thing is, you and your co-workers might kill me, but I'm going to kill fucking you. You know what I mean?
That literally just happened a few days ago. Some cop just got fired because he snatched a woman out of the car and was beating her up and hitting her with the billy club and all kinds of shit.
Yeah. But that's the thing.
A couple days ago.
And that's what a lot of the training come into action at, because most of the people that it happened to, like the cop, I think it was in California, he dragged the lady out of her car for no reason. He was just angry.
Because you had a bad day.
A lot of times it's about non-compliance. Most of the shootings happen where somebody's told to lay on the ground, they don't. All right? But
no, not really.
A lot of them do.
Not really.
A lot of them do.
Like the one with the guy that got the one, he was in the car with his girlfriend and his kids in the back seat.
And they yelled, he got a gun. So therefore, see, this is the thing.
See, the thing is, the stories are always
it's always different.
A little.
Well, let's get off the fact that I can only say what I would do in that situation, and what I would do is, first thing, I have friends who are cops. I'm always compliant with police officers, right? But don't think you're going to sit up there in the car with me. You're going to kill my wife or kill one of the family members, and you're just going to walk away and say, "Hey, I resign." No, because you might resign, but guess what? I will come get you with your kids in front of you. That's because a lot of things happen because there's no repercussions.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back and talk about compliance. A lot of these people don't comply. They get combative.
Yeah.
A lot of these shootings happen because the people get combative. The cops are already scared of you. They don't know what to do. So they start shooting in a blind panic.
See, that's why everybody ain't meant to be a police officer.
Everybody's not meant to be a police officer, but that's one of the things I always told Neve and the kids around water. Anytime you're in water, if you fall in, you go down, you panic, you're going to drown. Most people who die in fires and anything else, they panic. If you're not panicking, you got a clear mind. That's just me, though. I have many situations where I didn't panic. It could have been worse if I would have panicked.
Yeah, I mean, you can't panic. Your heart beating fast, but a lot of people are just scared because things happen so much, and it's not always because you didn't do what you're supposed to do. Some people are just...
Well, and see, the thing about me is...
I'm having a bad day.
I'm always preparing for the worst, but...
Everybody don't.
I had a police officer pull me over recently. I was driving my son's car, and I gave him... He pulled me over. I was speeding, maybe like 5 miles over the speed limit. He said,
that's it?
Yeah. It wasn't fast.
And he pulled you over for that?
He said license registration. So I gave it to him, and he asked about the insurance registration. I said the registration is good. His aunt gave him the car. She wouldn't have gave him the car. She didn't give him the car until the registration was clear. He said, well, for your sake, I hope it is. And he walked away. He came back, told me it was clear. But when he came back, I spoke to him. I said, officer, no disrespect to you. And he was a young boy, maybe 27, 25, 27. And I said, with all the stuff that's going on around here, I said, people take things different ways. I said, you just said you hope for my sake that this registration is good. I said, that can be taken a couple ways. I said, the way things are going on nowadays, I could have looked at that and said, okay, for my sake means that you're going to do something to me.
Yeah.
And, but.
Yeah, it's like a veiled threat.
Yeah. And I said,
for no reason.
I said, I work in the service industry where I visit probably more houses than you get 911 calls a day. I said, I got to be a chameleon when I talk to these people. I talk how I change myself. Sometimes I'm a Democrat, sometimes I'm Republican, but I got to always talk to these people to favor what their likes are so I can get through my day. I said, but what you said for my sake, I said, there was no reason for you to say that at all.
No, it wasn't.
And he never said sorry. But you know what he said in the end when we got done?
What?
He gave me my license back and said, Mr. Morgan, it's good talking to you. And most people probably wouldn't.
You probably opened his eyes to something that could have went sideways for no reason.
Said, most people probably wouldn't have said nothing to him. But my thing is, just because you got a badge, you don't get that respect from me.
No, you got to earn it. I mean,
you got to earn that. And I mentioned that the other day to actually my supervisor. I'm going to call him Barry, right? He's Scottish, right? Barry. And I said,
don't use the accent, please.
And I said, people respect your title first before they respect the person. I said, when somebody respects you, it's, hey, this the boss, blah, 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 blah. But when you call a tech in the middle of the night and say, hey, the police called and said there's a wire not far from your house, can you go out and pick it up? I said, when that tech will get out of his bed and go pick that wire up for you, he respects you as a person.
Yeah.
I said, so.
Not arguing with you. And
no. You
so, like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically, in my job, you got to have the respect, and it's like you got to have double respect. People are going to respect you as a soup, but you need to be respected as a man, too.
Yeah, but it should be like that with any job.
Everything.
Any job.
Everything. And
then you have some supervisors, you respect the title, but you can't stand the person.
Yes.
But that's why it's always a push and pull when it comes down to if they tell you to do something that 9 times out of 10 is probably not your job, you'll argue back and forth with them. But you actually like this person, you respect them.
So you do it
you'll
for
be like,
them.
oh, okay.
I'll take care of that. But, and again, like I told the police officer, like there's certain things you don't need to say.
Yeah, that's true.
And to me, you need to learn how to, so you pass the test. You scored high and say, I can score high on a fucking test. But you lack the ability to talk to people. There's certain key things you can't say to certain people. Now, if he was in an inner city and said, for your sake, I hope this comes back valid, guess what?
Yeah, depending on what type of person you was talking to at the time, that could have went totally wrong.
Totally different. Now, imagine if you got a friend who got killed by the police 2 years ago, and the cop says to you, "For your sake."
Yeah.
What the fuck does your sake mean?
You still kind of raw about it. Like,
but
I
you
can't
know,
believe he just
so
threatened
guess
me
what?
for no
Now-
reason.
Now that you to say your sake, guess what? If I'm carrying a gun, I'm about to light your ass up. Because guess what? I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. And what that means is I'd rather be tried by 12 jurors than carried by 6 pallbearers, because this fucking cocky ass cop out here that don't know what the fuck he doing and have no people skills.
Yeah. That should be one of the main things that they teach them in the academy, is how to talk to people,
But the
how to
problem
manage
is
people.
these academies.
But they pass the test and they put them out in the streets, and now I
Yes.
got a gun, so I can do what I want to do.
But the thing is, the need for police is so short that they got to hire from out of the area, out of city.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why my one buddy who's a cop that I see a lot while I'm working, that if he's sitting somewhere, I'll stop and talk to him. It's more or less to say, "Hey, yo, man, how you doing?" But it's also when I see his partner, let his partner know that not all people of brown American people or brown persuasion of people of color are bad people. So it's not just like talking to him, it's letting his partner see that not everybody's out here dealing,
Yeah. Dylan and his starting trouble
doing
and-
crazy stuff, doing things against the law.
I mean, after you get a certain age, you need to calm down anyway. You need to go
Yes,
sit your
you do.
ass down somewhere. Go
Now-
watch TV.
Yeah. Now the whole thing, what started this whole podcast this time, is the fact that there was a police shooting in the city of, what do you call that, T-Town?
Trenton.
In the city of T-Town, right? And this video was released by, I believe, the Somerset prosecutor's office. But
Somerset.
I think it was Somerset. But it showed this car was pulled over. I forget why it was pulled over. But the police was talking to this guy. "Sir, shut the car off." He shuts the car off, right? And roll down the window. He didn't want to roll down the window. So I don't know what happened. They said, "You're under arrest, step out of the car." He didn't want to step out of the car. So they were doing everything they could. I don't know whether they were doing it because they knew they would be recorded, or they were doing it because it's the right thing to do, right? So at some point, the cops are talking to him so he wouldn't get out the car. They came up and hit the window with something. It didn't break. So I don't know what the hell you got
I
there.
thought there was some law or something that said that you don't have to get out of the car.
I don't know what that was. They tried to break the window, but they were trying to arrest this guy. So the whole time they talking to him, he's talking back. The conversation's going back and forth. All you hear the officer is, "Stop reaching behind the seat."
See, big mistake.
Conversation again. "Stop reaching behind the seat." Now you never saw if he was reaching behind the seat or not. But the thing was, it's
You just hear the cop saying it.
the cop was saying it, and nobody pulled out a gun and shot him. Stop. They kept telling him, "Stop reaching behind the seat." And he had one of them fucked up cars. He started that bitch up like, and he tried to take off. And as he was taking off, there's another cop in front of him. I don't know whether the cop was in the wrong place at the wrong time or the guy tried to run him over, but the cop was in front of the car as he tried to take off, so they fired on him. Right?
Okay.
Now, this is the thing. The car stops. They pull him out. He's on the ground. One cop's doing CPR. So, "Stay with me, man. Stay with me, man." I think there's another cop kept saying, "Why'd you do that?" So I don't know if that was because they knew they were being videotaped. And it wasn't being videotaped. All of this is body cam footage.
Well, okay.
So were they doing the right thing because they knew it would be videotaped? I don't know. But now this is my personal opinion, is that I think they were doing the right thing because they were human beings. Because they were officers in the city. They were used to working around people of color, people of Latin people, brown people, as a lot of Spanish people call themselves.
Hispanic,
whatever. But they were used to working around it, so the guy survived.
Oh, he did.
He survived. Yes, they worked on him, and I heard the one cop say, "Why did you do that?" So I think that chalks up to the fact that you're used to working with a certain type of people.
Yeah.
And it wasn't done because they knew they were on camera. It was It chalks up to a certain type of people. Now, I'm going to give you one more before we get off. My buddy who works, right? He had a guy who got shot in the neck. The guy was on the ground. Somebody's videotaping. This guy was fucking dead. If I was a medic and rolled up, no, he's dead. Because they were giving chest compressions. The blood was squirting out the bullet hole in his neck.
Oh, jeez.
So he's done. But
So somebody should have been holding that hole.
Well, they tried anyway. And as you know, as a medic, once you start CPR, you don't give up to somebody who has more knowledge in the medical field than you comes and says, like the cop we had on 295 where the doctor was pulled up, ID himself as the doctor said, I'm calling it. So they worked him. And my buddy was telling me, he says, hey, it's a good thing you guys worked him because somebody videotaped y'all. But again, they didn't know they were being videotaped. It's compassion.
I mean, all cops are not bad.
All cops are not bad. I would say if you have 100 cops, maybe 5 of them are bad.
Yeah.
The problem with those 5 who are bad, there's always somebody who's covering up for them.
See, and that's a problem.
It's not a problem anymore because there's a lot of videos out there where they had one cop was arresting this guy. Another cop walked up and punched dude in the face. That cop looked at the other cop and pointed at him. They arrested that dude, took his gun and arrested his ass. So things are changing very slowly because people don't want to be on the end of that shit stick when it hits the fan.
It need to, because I think it takes a lot to be a police officer. You go through all the training and you're doing this and that and the other, and then your partner will come and do something foul, and now you got to either cover for him or tell on him, and then you don't want the other cops to talk shit about you.
Guess what? Now, with my job, I don't give a fuck if you talk shit about me. You can.
Yeah, but it's different.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. It's not. What you do is way different.
Yeah, you're right. Because what I do is somebody's not going to jail. But the thing is this: if you're doing your job, you're doing your job. If the next man's not doing his job, fuck him. And I got a cable story for you too that we can go into that after this. But things are changing.
Well, I hope so.
Cops are locking up. Cops are doing crazy stuff because, like I said, you don't want to be on the end of that shit stick. And let me tell you a story somebody told me one day that to this day, I think our son is the same way. This guy named Fred, he used to work with us years ago when we was with the state of New Jersey. He said he always treated inmates with respect. When he got on the street, an inmate approached him. He thought it was going to be a problem. The guy was like, I want to thank you for not treating me like an animal when I was locked up. And I think our son does the same thing where he works at. That way nobody feels any bad. Hey, I did bad. I was in there. You was doing your job.
And the sad part about that is he know half of the people anyway.
Yeah. But people know.
They respect him already.
They respect him. In. People know he's doing his job.
Yeah. He don't mess with you if you don't mess with him.
On the other hand, fuck around and find out. I'm going to leave it at that.
You go.
It's not about that, about him. But, I'm going to just leave it at that. Use your imagination. All right? Because no matter what, he's still my boy. So fuck around and find out. I don't gotta follow no law. You fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Because he might be in law enforcement and you do something to him or any of them, guess what? I will fucking shoot you in front of your kids. Your kid grow up like, yo, that's the motherfucker shot my daddy. You're damn right. You're better off without your fucking daddy. Fuck around and find out. Anyway.
Here you go. Always got to get carried away.
I'm not carried away. It is what it is.
Well, anyway, we got to wrap this one up. But he always got something. I can't stand it. Anyway, if you need to get in touch with me, Denise, I can't stand him some days. Email me at Denise's Dialogue at gmail.com. Have any questions, comments? Tell your friends about us.
Tell your friends.
We will talk to you later.
Thank you for listening.
Oh, he's stupid.